Okay, we are live. It's Sunday night. Hey, every Sunday is a bit of a crapshoot until I get all my IT stuff fixed. Looks like we're going to be okay for the minute. I was came on a few minutes late here, just doing some tests and making sure that the camera's working, the mic's working. We seem to be okay today. I think where we got into trouble the last couple weeks was starting outside and then coming inside, and then it didn't know which Wi-Fi to connect to. It was toggling. I don't know. Yeah. So there's that. All right. Well, cheers to a sunny night. It's just sparkling water, so don't get too excited unless you got something fun in your glass. So, all right. How's everybody doing tonight? Give you a minute to come in here. So tonight we are talking about physical and mental clutter. And I feel like this could be something that a lot of people will resonate with. So I'm really excited to share this because I dropped a couple of short videos. Didn't drop my shorts. I dropped a couple of short videos earlier this week with regards to physical clutter, mental clutter, and it's and what that does to us. When you've got all that physical clutter, it's amazing what it can do for your mindset. And so it's really important that we pay attention to that and pay attention to get that down there. Pay attention to how much the physical clutter affects your mental clutter. So let me just get we are live. Join us. Just posting this around. There we go. So I'm going to post this around while you guys get all cozy in the chat. And yeah, let's see what we got here. Kind of a rainy day here. It's been on and off rain. I went out. I thought I had a good window of time to pick things out of my garden. I got quite a harvest and thought I would have a really nice window of time. And I did. It started raining on me right towards the end, but boy, I got 2 big baskets of stuff. So we are live. And let's see. Join us. Okay. Put that there and there and there. All right. Okay, make the announcements. Okay, so here we go. So if you're on my email list, you also got an email. Just sent that out not too long ago with regards to this issue of physical and mental clutter. If you want to be on the email list, then you can email me, and I'll drop my email right in the chat here. And I send out an email about once a week so that it's usually something timely, something that's current, either current events or current in my practice. I like to teach from my experiences. I like to be able to take things that are happening every day in the office and then be able to offer those as stories of experience. And I think that's how we learn. It also is helpful for me that if I just use the content around me, use the stories around me, that I'm able to bring you guys different stories of value, different lessons of value that you can utilize and hopefully implement into your lives. So, we all know about spring cleaning. I feel like anytime there's a rainy day for me, I'm digging in and I'm digging into some cleaning. And if this sounds like you, go ahead and drop that in the chat. Oftentimes here in the summer, most of the time when it's really nice out, nice sunny days. See, here comes the rain again. It's almost like there's only about 15 minutes in between raindrops. So if it's a really nice sunny day, I am outside, I'm doing something outside. So whether I'm playing, riding my bike, just, walking, hiking, going to the lake, going to the pool. I want to be outside enjoying as much of summer as possible. Playing in my garden, maybe cleaning the garage, but only if it's a day that's not nice enough to actually be outside playing. So that's questionable. But on days like this, when it's raining, it's on and off, you really can't get out and get into a big, long project. These are the days that I take, and I just start to, I'll do things inside. So maybe I'll clean out a drawer, I'll clean out a closet. But today I spent the day, I did some cooking and some prepping. I worked on social media for the office, prepped for my week. So what I had been doing over the last several weeks was taking documents. So I've been in practice for 26 years, just over 26 years. And I'm obligated to keep records for over 7 years. So it's a lot. And when you have to keep that many records by law, you lose space. It's really hard to have enough space to store everything. So I had things I moved into this office that I'm currently in 4 years ago. So prior to that, I was in another office for 19 years. And that office was tiny. There was no storage at all. So I had brought a lot of the boxes of records home, and they were up in my attic. And then I had a few in my garage. So the problem with that is that they're up in the attic, and then of course they're in the garage, and I never took the time to get them back over to the office. But also I didn't know what to do with them. I didn't know how much, hey, Uncle Al, how are you? I didn't know how much I would need. I didn't know how much, in order to have a shredding company come, I didn't know how many boxes I would have to have for them to come and shred my records for me. I had been taking, a couple of those bankers boxes at a time over to like UPS or FedEx. And, it cost me $100, $150 every time I did it. So, it's not cheap for a small amount. So a friend of mine said to me, she said, call one of the shredding companies. And I was like, I'll do it again. But I called a few years ago, and you needed such an incredibly high volume of records for shredding for them to come to your office that I never had a high enough amount. So I called this company, and they were like, oh yeah, all you need is a minimum of 15 bankers boxes. And I'm like, oh my God, really? I could do that with my eyes closed. So I had 17 in my attic. I had 16 in the garage. I took all of those to the office. I pulled up another 35, 36 from the basement of the office, including x-rays. So there was a lot. Now I started to, had to like pull things, get everything up from the basement again, get everything over to the office. So this process was taking a while. And this is what made me think about the physical clutter, the mental clutter. How's it similar to chiropractic? How's it similar to what we do as chiropractors and how we help people? And that it's all chaos. All this physical clutter around us is just sheer chaos. But it becomes white noise. We don't see it after a while. But I think our subconscious sees it. Our subconscious knows that there's this clutter all around us. And so it creates these stops, if you will. There's, think of it like clogging a drain. So it's really hard to think clearly, have enough open space for other things to come into your life. If you're somebody who, believes in energy and energy fields, the energy that you are creating around you can be very much in alignment with what you'll attract. So if you have clutter all around you, then you tend to attract chaos in your life, or you tend not to attract things that flow. Or, it's almost like the universe is saying, you've got to clear that stuff out before we can provide you with more. So it's really important to start looking around your environment and making sure that you're clearing out the physical clutter, because the universe won't come back around and give you anything when you don't have the capacity for anything more. So thinking about it from that perspective, and again, for me, not having a choice to have to keep these records, I went all digital about, let's see, digital X-ray was about 5 years ago. So in 2 more years, I'll be able to shred all the X-rays, and then I went digital on my patient portal, my patient CR, what am I calling it? My billing software. So I went digital on that about 2 years ago. So so I still have records that I'll probably scan in, and then I'll just shred those. But at this point going forward, I don't have to maintain any more paper records. So that was the biggest hurdle of all of it. So we take all of these records, and they're all in my office. They're staged. They're ready to go. And yeah, I know, Uncle Al, I just I don't have a steel burner drum and 5 gallons of gas. So that would have been, a girlfriend of mine said, bring them over to my house. We'll burn them, which is fine. I could have done that, but I'm like, it was just too many boxes. So the day they were supposed to come, I was opening up the boxes just to check them, and I realized that a lot of them were half filled because of how they were alphabetized, and then of course by year. And I was like, oh my God, because I was being charged by the box. So I had over 75 boxes, and that morning I went crazy and I started consolidating the boxes. And we'll get to the lesson and why this is all about chiropractic and health here in a minute. So I'm working my tail off. I'm combining boxes. I got it all consolidated down to 35 boxes. I mean, I was a woman on a mission. So I get it down to 35 boxes. The guy comes about lunchtime, and 20 minutes, and he was done. He took all those records and he was done. Then I still had all these empty boxes, because they won't take the boxes. They're just taking your documents. So I had all the empty boxes. So then the empty boxes had to get broken down and put into the dumpster. And now I'm left, I still have, which I haven't taken them down in the basement of the office yet, which I probably won't actually. I keep saying I'm going to take them in the basement, but I'm not going to save them. I have probably 15 plastic tote file bins. I'll probably just put them on Facebook Marketplace and, get rid of them that way. I don't need them. But I still have some clutter, but I cleared out most of it. So my whole lesson in all of this, I really started to think about how we have chaos around us, and that most of us in life, just by the daily things that we do in life, a lot of things are chaotic. We have anxiety, we're stressed. We've got the economy stressing everybody out, your kids, your finances. There's so many things that are stressing everybody out, that it creates chaos within your nervous system. So here I was, I had this, had all this physical clutter around me. It felt like chaos, and I had somebody come in and he cleared it out. And it's not fully gone. I still have to work at it. But this is what we do as chiropractors, is we clear the chaos from your body. I had a patient the other day say to me, "You've got me almost fixed, doc." And I said, I'm not doing anything. I'm just releasing the chaos from your nervous system, and your body is doing the healing. Your body is doing what it needs to do in order for you to heal. So that's a good idea, Uncle Al. I've got a church I can get it to. I don't know that they need it. I've tried asking my teachers, my patients who are teachers, they don't need it. And 100% Mad Chick Acres, and hello, welcome in, and thanks for being here. Clutter is the mind killer, and my mind is on a cliff's edge. It really is amazing. So the level of relief that I felt after they took all of that physical clutter, it really is a mental mind killer, like Mad Chick Acres said. The physical clutter it's got to be managed, maintained, my daughter and I are also in the process of, we're clearing out our garage. I've got somebody coming over to get some things tonight. I'm just putting everything up on Facebook Marketplace. She had a garage sale a couple weeks ago. She sold $150 worth of clothing, you know, $5 here, $10 there. And so she's posting things on what do you call it? Hey, P Squared, how are you? She's posting things on eBay. So she's doing a great job just getting rid of her stuff. Now that, you know, there's a couple schools of thought, just get rid of it and be done with it. And then there's that piece of me that is still like, oh, but I don't want to throw it in a dumpster. Like if it's something that I could give away that somebody could use, I really want to do that. I don't want to, yeah, I mean, I feel like if I can't use it anymore, someone can. So, yeah, all of my banker boxes, Uncle Al, they'd been stacked. So they were kind of smashed. And then fortunately, later that afternoon, I had, my male patients they're so amazing. I mean, all my patients are amazing, but these boys, they always come in, they always offer to help me with something. Hey, can I take your garbage to your car, to the dumpster? Can I carry some bags out to your car? Like, you know, they're so kind with anything that I need done. And they offer. I'm not, you know, I certainly don't put them to work whenever they come in. They just offer. So that later that afternoon, I have a patient of mine, and he came in and he was having to wait. And as a joke, I said, you know, I go, you can start breaking those boxes down if you want. He goes, oh, yeah, I'll do that. He goes, that'll give me something to do while I'm waiting. And then there was another guy waiting, and he gets up and he's like, I'll help you. And the two of them broke down all the boxes. And then the first young man, Cody, he came over, and I was adjusting him. And then another young man, Austin, he walks in the office, and I go, it's gonna be a few minutes. And I go, but he can go back there and help Jake with boxes. He's like, okay. So between these three boys, they got all the boxes broken down, loaded into Jake's truck, drove it across the parking lot, and put it all in the dumpster. And you know, at that point, it was the 35 boxes that the company took, plus it was an additional 30 some boxes that I had consolidated into. It was another big load. So it was really great that, you know, they pitched in and they helped me. Again, another mental relief for me. It was like, oh, there's all this work looming ahead of me. There's this clutter, this stuff, these unfinished tasks that need to get done. Well, and then somebody jumps in and helps you. And so again, the mental relief that you feel, that you experience after that is, you know, it's very healing. It's very, you know, you get rid of the physical clutter, and you will feel that in your brain. And yeah, it is karma. And like you say, I appreciate that. You know, I have a quick side note, segueing away for a minute, but as far as like, you know, karma and respect, and, you know, I've had conversations with my hairdresser about, you know, a lot of people ask me, do you have a cancellation policy or a cancellation fee? And I said, no, because I don't have a culture of people who just peace out, like who just don't show up. If I have somebody like that, they're not part of my practice for very long. The culture in my office is very much one of mutual respect. And like you say, these boys know it's late at night. I mean, not late at night, you know, it's at the end of the day, I should say. You know, they know that, you know, I want to get home too. And they're like, you know, whatever you need, I'll help take stuff to your car. And so it really is great. And it's just a mutual respect. Hey, Kenny, welcome in. Nice to see you. Make sure you guys are hitting that thumbs up button. And, so yeah, I don't, you know, I just don't, you know, cause there's gonna be times when I have to, and there's been times I've had to cancel on my patients, or, you know, I got sick, or my daughter was sick and I had to go take care of her. Like, you know, so So it's the energy, right? It's all really the energy that you're putting out there. So thinking about that, what do you have to clean up? What is it that's looming that you're looking at that you're like, oh my God, if I don't clean that up, I'm going to scream. Um, and Mad Chick Acres says, I used to just walk into my chiropractor's office near the end of the day with no appointment. And that's actually, so this one patient of mine, Cody, we're getting off topic, but I'll say this real quick. He knows my schedule and he's got a very crazy schedule. He's one of the few people that walks in. I do like people to schedule, but he knows my exact schedule. And so he's like, and so he ends up popping in at just the right time. It always works out. Um, and he knows when my new patient time slot, so he won't come in there if he has to leave town or something. And he'll say, "Hey, I'm coming through. I know it's when it's when you have a new patient, but it's my only time to get in before I leave town." And I'm like, "Come on in. It's okay." And so, again, it's pitching in. I think that's why, right? He's like, "Whatever I need to do to help you." So, it's the culture that you create. So, yeah. And same thing. I have the same thing where, like, if I have people call me and I'm like, "You're not supposed to be in this week. What's wrong?" Yeah. So I know we're kind of that way. So going back to the physical clutter, the mental, emotional clutter, and the chaos. So you have chaos around you that creates stress on your nervous system. We have everyday life stress and anxiety that creates more stress on your nervous system. It creates tension. Your nervous system gets bound up, and it actually we can get toxins floating through our system from inflammation. Stress creates more of an inflammatory response. And so all of that, when you go to the chiropractor, when you get adjusted, it releases all of that stress and tension. It releases the chaos so your body can hear a clear message. So there's no more clutter along the information superhighway from your brain to your body. And isn't that great? Because when we have this clutter and this chaos along our information superhighway, we can have more anxiety, more stress, more sleep issues, more brain fog, inability to think clearly. We get short fuses. We might have health problems, chronic health issues. So the more we can clear the nervous system, clear the chaos, and make sure that it's hearing a sound signal, then the healthier you'll be. I mean, think about this: the nervous system's the first thing that forms in utero, literally. So sperm and egg come together, and the brain and nervous system are the first thing to now. A whole brain doesn't develop, So, but it's the nervous system is the first thing that develops in utero, because its job is to control and direct everything else. So then, as we get stress and tension, traumas, damage, slips, trips, falls, and then poor diet, poor lifestyle, not enough hydration, poor quality sleep. We get all of that. And that causes even more stress and damage to the nervous system. So that's what we do, is to help to clear up that messaging so your body can have its best ability to heal itself. So I almost fell asleep with the heat pads and stim running. So relaxing after the adjustment. Feel brand new. It really is amazing. Yeah, I got you snoring. I know. I get people on my table snoring when I leave them on the cold laser. It is amazing, and it's I have like a shoulder issue and a neck thing, and if I don't go regularly, that it's not great. And I don't like that. I'm like, I want to feel amazing and strong and full of vitality all the time. I was nodding off, and then she said sperm and egg. Of course, Kenny. Thanks for being here. I've missed your humor, my friend. Of course, you always manage to catch me when I say something. So, um, so we got everything shredded. Feels amazing, but it's not done. And I did a video last week, I think, or 2 weeks ago, that was talking about how long does it take. And that's the thing. It's like, I didn't just, snapped my fingers and all those boxes were there, and then they were gone, and now everything's cleared up again. I now have to reorganize. This is how the body works. This is how our health works, is we clear the chaos from the nervous system, and then the body has to actually reorganize itself in the process of its healing, to get more healing. So I think this is, one of the biggest things that a lot of people don't recognize when it comes to chiropractic is, okay, neck and back pain. That's what most people end up coming to us for. And then actually starting to recognize, wow, I can think more clearly. I can turn my head better. My sinuses aren't as congested. My digestion's better. I'm sleeping better at night. We work with babies, and whenever I have a baby that I'm adjusting, it's amazing because babies aren't coming in for neck and back pain. Yeah, I have a baby now that she likes to just kind of like be in a sideways C. And she was born C-section. So one of the things with being born C-section, one of the things with a natural birth coming through the birth canal, I won't say vaginal canal, Kenny, because I know that'll probably send you reeling. So when you come through, I guess I did. When you come through the birth canal, is it squeezes the baby's body and it shapes everything. So when the baby comes through C-section, and the mom, she didn't really know. I asked her, I said, her head looks, her head looks like they used suction because it's really elongated and it's kind of crooked. So we have to really work with to restructure her cranial bones to make sure that it's shaped the right way. And so when you don't go through the birth canal, that's what can happen. So really important when I'm working with babies that I can recognize that these bones are movable. Now, it's not like I'm like giving them like adjustments, but this is a lot of energy work. It's a lot of, almost kind of like massage work, touch work. And then those bones will slowly move over time. And so babies are really interesting because, and this one also was even, she was kept curling to one side. I forget which side she was curling to, and her head, she only liked her head on one side. And so after her first adjustment, she was now moving her head, and she's 3 weeks old. So, babies respond really, really incredibly to chiropractic care because it's about the energy. It's about clearing up the nervous system, allowing the nervous system to do what it needs to do and express life. So babies are really amazing when it comes to seeing the transformation, if you will. Love taking care of babies. So yes, cone head. I think, yeah, cone head, you were shaped like a torpedo when you were born. Or are you talking about this little girl? Yeah, cone head for sure. And then of course, if they use a suction, it so it really gives you cone head. So yeah, there's a reason we're supposed to go through the birth canal for just because it's supposed to squeeze out all the fluid that you've been living in for 9 months, and helps you get all that good bacteria coming through the birth canal. That's how you start your it's the biome. It's the first start of your biome. You've got a microbiome on your skin and your gut, everywhere in your body. So when you come through as C-section, you're not getting that. So I always tell mom, like, you got to take the juices and you got to rub it all over the body of the baby. So I know, sounds gross, but hey, that's what you got to do, you guys. I know, I'm probably like, the guys are probably there squirming, I'm thinking. So what do you think, P squared? The guys squirming on this one? All right, going back to physical clutter. What are you guys working on? Is it inside the house, outside the house? Is it garage? Is it drawers? Is it, are you building something? There's a shed. I still have a shed out there that I'm trying to get torn down and rebuilt. That's been a mental clutter for me because I have a crushed shed in the back of my in the back of my yard, and I'm having a hard time finding a new one. So, all my girls were C-section, one turned blue. Oh my goodness. And I hope they're all okay. How many kids do you have? Yeah. So, yeah, it's crazy. Did you take your babies to the chiropractor? I'm curious. And did you go to the chiropractor during your pregnancy? So, we take care of a lot of moms who are pregnant because, again, we want to express life. There's a lot of stress for mom, especially when she's growing life in pregnancy. And so that's, what am I going to do when I have this baby, especially first time moms? And so all that creates stress and tension on the nervous system. All of that, as you're gaining weight, you're growing life, that all the power is going into that baby, into growing life into that baby. So when you're growing life, then you need to have your nervous system as sound and clear as possible, because it's got to control and direct the growth of that human in your body. So, oh, you're the dad. Okay. All right. So, yeah, that would be weird, I guess, if you had the C-sections. So, um, canning, freeze drying, dealing with 3 girls. Okay. Yeah. Um, so, so think about that. Now we go in and we clean out a closet, we clean out a drawer, whatever it is, your dresser, and you go in with the intention of you're gonna make this happen because you can't stand it anymore, and you start clearing everything out, and then all of a sudden you look behind you and it's a disaster. It looks like a bomb went off. So it always is a little bit worse before it gets better. That was the other lesson that I was thinking about, was that a lot of times when you start chiropractic care, you can feel a little stiff or sore. You may not feel like you're making a whole lot of progress. It's the same thing. We get into these projects and we're like, am I even making progress? I mean, you're looking around, you're like, oh my God, how am I gonna make heads or tails of this? I mean, you've made such a mess. You went from something, controlled chaos, to now it's just like a bomb went off. And now what are you gonna do with it? And so you have to have patience with that. You have to continue to forge ahead. You have to continue with the work. You've got to continue to clean and to, like you say, if it's clothing in a closet or whatever, you've got to run things through the laundry, organize things in different bags. This one goes in the giveaway pile. We're going to throw this away over here. We're going to keep this. We got to get things organized. It's a process that does not just happen overnight. So when you're under care and you're trying to improve your state of life and your state of healing, you got to have patience. You have to know that it may be a little more chaotic before it gets better. Because then what happens? You keep forging ahead. You keep working at it. You continue to organize everything within your environment. You're going to get rid of things that don't serve you. So maybe you're changing your diet. Maybe you're starting to move again. Maybe you decide, you know what, I really need to exercise. So that's all of the things that you're giving away when you're decluttering. You're giving things away, getting rid of them because they no longer serve you. And this is often when I'm coaching people on health and nutrition, is that I'm helping you to understand you've got to get rid of things that no longer serve you. They will not bring you health and vitality. And of course, I said a few weeks ago that how long does it take? Right? Does anybody remember? I think P squared P squared was she liked my comment that I made. How long does it take? Your whole freaking life. Your whole life. Stop trying to put a timeline on healing. It takes your whole life. You've got to make that level of commitment. And so again, the physical clutter very much tied in with the mental emotional chaos. And then as chiropractors, we're also helping you deal with that, get rid of that trauma, get rid of that mental emotional chaos that's going on inside of you. Half the time we're psychologists listening to your stories. And then, we're also there to just be a loving ear and help you get to the best place that you possibly can get to. 50 tomato plants. This house is a wreck. So I like to stay outside. Oh my God. That's a lot. Holy moly. Yeah. And yes, P squared. It's the best feeling when it's done. You do. You go, when it's done, what do? You go, wow, that was amazing. I can't believe it. It's the sense of relief that comes over you is amazing, isn't it? So, so it's really pretty incredible. So I would encourage you, find something, look around, figure out where the clutter is, figure out where the drain is clogged and unclog it. Just unclog it. You know, speaking of clogged drains, I had a clogged drain in my shower and I had to go use these little, like, it's like Velcro on a stick thing, and you stick it in the drain and then you spin it and it pulls out a gigantic clump of hair. Well, I was out of them. Because they, you got to get rid of them every couple uses. And I was out of them, but every time I'd leave the house, I would forget that I needed it. So then every morning I get in the shower and I'd have a pooling in the bottom of the tub, and I'm like, and it was so aggravating because then every time I'd get back out of the shower, I'd forget. So finally yesterday I remembered, or maybe Friday, and I went to Home Depot and I got more. And and then I forgot them in the car. I took a shower this morning. I was like, yeah. So I finally this afternoon, I got in there and I cleaned out that clog. And that was a relief. It's these things that just like neat, they knit at you. So so get them done, get them off your plate. And then understand that you're doing your nervous system a service by getting rid of all that stress. Wife says I'm king of unfinished projects. I just tell her to give me a project and I get it all done. She's, yeah. It's amazing. I think creative minds tend to do that. I've got 27 projects going at any one given time. I do eventually complete projects. They have to be, they certainly have to be like stories, not stories. They have to be serving me. So if I'm working on something, I'm like, oh, this is not really going to benefit my business or my life, then I might, push it aside. But I'm definitely not that person who starts a project and then I'm like, straight shot, get it done, which again is very much like your health and healing. We take 3 steps forward, we take 1 step back. And it's okay. Like, you have to give yourself that grace to know that it's not going to be a perfect line. So yeah, it's your whole life. The chaos P squared. Yeah. So yeah, Uncle Al, you've had some challenges for sure. So we're sending you lots of love and prayers for sure. Akers says, when I first went to my chiro, I had to list all injury and surgeries. I asked for another piece of paper. I usually when I get to the bottom of my paper, after I'm taking a history on somebody, I'm like, I'm at the bottom. We're not, like, I don't have any room for anymore. I'm like, yeah, of course. It's crazy. Yeah. I mean, injuries and surgeries and all of that. It's definitely good for us to know, because we understand then, again, what kinds of traumas have you been through? What kinds of accidents and injuries? What is your body really dealing with? Why isn't it healing? And then also the amount of time. And I think I've told you guys story after story about patients that come in who've had, like, I had one patient and he says, I'm a walking athletic injury. And I think I mentioned him a few weeks ago. He's in horrific shape. He's got to be 150, maybe 200 pounds overweight. And he said to me, what if it's not working after 2 weeks? And I said, it's not going to. Period. It's not going to. No. I'm like, you're too far in the trenches at this point. It's not going to. So stop expecting it. It's going to take the rest of your life, period. Right? So, we've got to be really mindful of those things. Oh my goodness, 115 to 120. Wow. Are you cooking eggs on the concrete? Sheesh. Yeah. Bad air. Yeah. That's tough for, if you have health problems, that's really tough. So, Kenny said he was away for about 5 minutes. What did I miss? Oh, Kenny. What did Kenny miss? That was so, I don't know. Kenny's, you're just gonna have to go back and listen. I gave away $1 million and I called your name and you weren't here. That's what you missed. I had to give it to somebody else. Hey, Hike Homestead. Nice to see you. Thanks for being here. Kenny, lots of birthing conversations. I think he did miss the birthing conversations. He might be better off for that. Yeah. Just tell him, yeah, he gave away $1 million and he missed it. So, but I think that's, that's probably one of my, you really could use that right now, couldn't you? I think we all could. So, but this is just the metaphor for life. It's the metaphor for everything we do. And we want things to be rushed. And I certainly, I say, I have to save these records for 7 years, which is really annoying because it builds up. I mean, you can imagine thousands of patients over 26 years. That's a lot of records. It's a lot of records. So I'm super grateful that I figured out a plan that I figured out how to get rid of those, how to manage it, how to, clean up everything. So, everything's just going to be a lot more organized now. So it really is. It's like, the solution, sometimes it's hard to see the solution, and then that's when somebody says, well, just call them again and see what happens. And I did, and I was able to figure out that solution. So when you can't see it right in front of you, that's what I help people do, is help people see the solution that's right in front of them. But I had a patient. All right, Kenny, we'll give you the $1 million. So I had a patient that came in last week, and she had terrible vertigo. And I was talking to her, we were talking about hydration and nutrition. She'd been changing her diet. She had lost probably 35 pounds. So she probably, has, maybe another 30 to 50 pounds to go. But the fact that she's moving in a positive direction, she's got severe digestive issues. She's been on acid blockers for 30 years. And, it's a short-term medication. And you're only supposed to be on that for a few weeks, if at all. And her acid reflux is really bad. And then she ended up in the hospital because she stopped the acid blocker and decided to eat Tums, a lot of them. And so she had too much calcium in her blood. And I said, we probably are also, because they have aluminum in them. And I said, you probably are heavy metal toxic as well. So we, in the process of talking about food, and I mentioned a couple of things, and she goes, I'm completely food dumb. She didn't know the simplest of things. And I'm not saying that as a criticism to her, but this is how the general public is. So this is why I try to bring you guys, this is why I like these live shows, because I can answer your questions here about food and lifestyle. I can really, this is really like a great way to, stay connected with me, so that when you have those questions, you can go, I didn't know that, I don't know, brownies were bad for me. I don't know. You should know brownies are not good for you, but yeah. Uncle Al, the stripper gave you a hernia. I don't even want to know what that means. Okay. Caveat, $1 per year for $1 million years. There you go, man chick. Yep. Let's see. So if you're worth $1 million, then you're looking even better than you did before, and you are already. Thank you, Kenny. I always rely on Kenny to make sure that I pay Kenny a lot of money to compliment me. Let's see. Posted a picture frying eggs. Oh my gosh. I need to go look at that. Is that on your YouTube channel? I've got to go look. Kenny's got something on his nose again. It was some Miracle Whip. Yep. It was some Miracle Whip. There we go. I know brownies are really good. Yep. Funny. I'm not a funny brownie kind of girl. I'm not a funny anything kind of girl. So Yeah, that is not my forte. Um, so I'm just going through the chat here, you guys. So yeah, so she was very much stating that she's food dumb. She really needs help with just the basic stuff, like doesn't really know how to she cooks, she'll cook if she um um she's not afraid to cook. She knows how to cook, but she's like, not adventurous in the kitchen, and doesn't really know a lot about ingredients and how to use ingredients. So those are the fun things for me, is being able to help people on that level. And then, food dumb is, I mean, really, I go back to my patient who couldn't understand. She was eating chicken Alfredo and couldn't understand why she wasn't losing weight. And I'm like, that's not. And then buying the Jimmy Dean breakfast sandwiches, and she was like, but there's protein in them. That's healthy, right? And I'm like, yeah, no, there's a lot of chemicals in that stuff. So it's things like that you guys get duped as consumers to to spend money on this, and that stuff's expensive. We don't realize, especially with the economy the way it is, and you don't realize how expensive it really is to spend money on processed food. You could probably make 20 homemade Jimmy Dean sausages for the same amount that you're going to buy 4 in a box at the store that's frozen, that's not fresh. So, um, does she use a lot of processed food? We didn't quite get into that. She had stopped eating a lot of processed food, which is how she was able to drop the 35 pounds she dropped. So super proud of her for that. And she did that on her own. Again, she can't be too food dumb if she was able to do that on her own. But the good news is she came in, and I've actually known her for like 30 years. She was a patient several years ago. I haven't seen her since 2019. And what was interesting was she called me on the phone, and she said, it's been a couple years since I've been in. And I go, yeah, let me check. And I go, actually, it's been like 5 years to the day. And she's like, no way. I said, yeah, way. But she ended up in the hospital because she ate too many Tums. And then she was having severe vertigo, so dizziness. And she said she would lay down, like it was constant. So she called me. She was like, I don't know if you can help. And I go, well, come on in. I go, let's do this. So she came in. I did an exam, took x-rays. And so I didn't get into her food habits P squared, just because when somebody comes in for chiropractic, there's only so much time I have. And then I'll move her into the nutrition coaching program. So that will be a whole different lane and then I can evaluate her food. But I took x-rays, did an examination. I adjusted her. I did the cold laser on her brain. So the beauty of the cold laser, it's in the other room. The beauty of the cold laser is that there's a brain setting on it. And so it's 1 minute. So 1 minute, 1 minute, 1 minute, 1 minute, 1 minute. So you're hitting the whole brain area for 1 minute, and it clears the brain out. It gets rid of the inflammation in the brain. It allows people to think more clearly. Plus the adjustment allows for the flow of spinal fluid to go up and down, get stress off the nervous system. She said she was 70% better after I adjusted her. And she said she'd been having this issue for weeks and nobody could help her. The doctors did not know what to do. They kept giving her medication, had no idea what to do. So chiropractic is powerful, you guys. It's really powerful. And she did a video for me. I was like she got up and she's walking around the office and she's like, do I really feel better right now? She was like, this is miraculous. She goes, I can't even believe how I feel right now. And I go, let's do a video. So you'll see that video when I'm done with this tonight. I'll be working on that and editing it. And so you'll see that video tomorrow. So watch for that. So make sure you hit the notification bell so that you're getting that. And if you are in here and you're not subscribed, go ahead and please subscribe. But yeah, it's pretty cool. It's only about 1.5 minute video, but ridiculously powerful. And I think you guys will dig it. So the other video that I was gonna drop in here for you is, let me see here. This is the video I did last week, and it's just a short, here we go, shorts. There we go. Get shareable link. Okay. So this is the video that I did so go ahead and give that a watch. It's just a short, it's like 1 minute, but I talked about the boxes and the clutter and how it relates to chiropractic. And so I think you'll like it, and you'll get to see the mess in the office. That's the thing, is the office was an absolute mess. So yeah, I know it does sound good. I think chicken Alfredo sounds amazing, but yeah, it's then I'm like, oh, but then it sounds like I'm going to be like super bloated. So yeah. So you're making shrimp Alfredo for dinner. Wow. That's okay. Well, we're all coming to your place. That sounds really good. I'm not opposed to Alfredo as long as it's homemade. Don't like open up a packet of something or a jar. Like I want my own homemade Alfredo, which if I'm going to make it, I'm going to do it. And I'll make it once or twice in the winter. I've got a really great homemade cheese sauce recipe that I use for homemade mac and cheese. It's so wonderful. Yes. Oh, there you go. All right. Now you're talking. I got mad respect for Mad Chick. That's he's making his own sauce. So perfect. Kenny's bringing the garlic bread. Oh man, we got a whole picnic going. Hey, Devil Dog, how are you? Sending love and prayers to you. How are you feeling? So, and yes, I did just rudely invite myself. I got to tell you, some of the greatest moments in my life, the greatest experiences I've had, and the greatest people that I've met is because I invited myself. So I would not be afraid to do that because, sometimes people are just like, yeah, of course, come on. And then you end up going places and seeing and meeting people. And it's pretty darn cool. So, as long as it's homemade sourdough. Ooh. And you know what? I made homemade sourdough crackers, and they're waiting for me for my homemade chicken soup. So I will have that. So I could bring the homemade sourdough crackers. So Kenny will bring the Miracle Whip. Oh, you went to culinary school. How amazing is that? Where'd you go to school? Haig says, heard that works for trigeminal neuralgia. So chiropractic works amazing for trigeminal neuralgia. I have had tremendous results with trigeminal. So what that is, for anybody who doesn't know, is it's the nerve along your face, the one of the facial nerves here, and it can create like you can get like Bell's palsy, you can get jaw pain. So it can affect the facial function in a variety of ways. It can be very, very painful for people. So chiropractic is amazing for trigeminal neuralgia. And then now that I have the cold laser, I use that in conjunction, and it's game on, man. I'm telling you, it's game on. So, so yeah, I just explained it to you, Kenny. It's pain in the jaw and the face. It's nerve pain. So think about that. It's nerve pain. And I do a lot of work with the TMJ, which is the jaw joint as well, because that does play a part in that condition. So yes, chiropractic, and now adding in the cold laser, it's amazing. So yeah, very painful condition. I heard cold therapy can be used to treat it. I don't know about that. Like I say, I adjust people, and then I'll work on the jaw, and then now use the cold laser. And it's a tough condition. So it can take a few weeks, but I've had people respond in just a couple of weeks. They're not out of the woods, but then, then a few weeks later, it's gone like that. So, and that would be like the same thing with like Bell's palsy, which, is you get that droopiness as well. So Google is my friend. Let's see. I already beat you to Chick's place. I call shotgun. Oh, that's great. You should not tell me to just invite myself. Yeah, I guess but hey, it could be fun. Could be fun, Kenny. Magic Acres, you make his own ghee, garlic, quality heavy cream, fresh grated Oh my God. That sounds amazing. Now, do you have raw milk sources for the heavy cream and your ghee? Are you making your own butter? Yeah, that sounds incredible. We're all coming over now. So, okay. Devil Dog says recovery is going well. Devil Dog had brain surgery, so just glad he's here and hanging out with us. Ups and downs seem to be more ups than downs. Excellent. Good. So forward motion is what we want. And there's Uncle Al with his mutton again. J&W Culinary, Providence, Rhode Island. That's amazing. Are you working in the food industry, or did you go to culinary school just for going to the culinary school, just to go? So, yes, always here to explain everything. That's why I'm here. You're lost me there, frog. You're eating on your own. And Uncle Al says, praying for your recovery. Everybody's giving you their love, their Devil Dog. So yeah, just glad you're here. Always grateful that you jump on in. So appreciate you watching. Yeah. So who's got questions for me today? Anybody have any questions? Anything that you're concerned about? What are you food dumb about? If we use the term that my patient used, what are you food dumb about? Well, I'll tell you what. Kenny didn't know that Miracle Whip had sugar in it. Okay, it tastes sweet, I think. Is that right, Kenny? I could be throwing you completely under the bus on that. So, yeah. Yeah, you're a chef for years now for fun and prepping. Nice. That's awesome. I was a wannabe chef. I mean, I cook a lot, and I prep a lot. Um, my mom taught me how to cook. I really did want to go to culinary school, but I didn't I knew I'd have to work in the restaurant industry, and I didn't want to work nights and weekends like that, probably should have gone to culinary school anyway. I mean, that would have been super amazing. So, yeah, so Kenny didn't know Miracle Whip had sugar in it. But this is where and this happens a lot. People will say to me, "Oh, pick a food or a drink," and they'll say, "No, it doesn't have sugar in it." And I'll say, "Does it taste sweet?" And they're like, "Well, yeah, I think so." Okay, well, that means yes. That means it has sugar in it. Or if they say there's no carbs, it doesn't have any sugar, and then I'll say, "Does it taste sweet?" This is a lot with a lot of drinks that have artificial sweeteners in them, and then they'll say, yeah, it does. And I'll go, okay, then it's got artificial sweeteners in it. So, we want to avoid that stuff too. So that, that's the thing. Like we're duped into what the labels say. We're duped into the food that, the food system, the advertising, we get duped into so many things. And so it's really, we've got to be very proactive. So again, that's why I'm here for you guys, to help you learn. So to help you make better choices. Yeah. And from a health perspective, I can't even imagine the restaurant industry and the hours in the restaurant industry are insane. And I would love to be able to cook like that. But yeah, I could not handle it. So plus I'm like, I need to be in bed by, 8 o'clock. I can't. So I know Kenny's like, Miracle Whip's still the bomb. P Squared says, I was blessed to have been taught to cook from scratch by my mother and grandmother. And that's really part of the legacy of health that I'm teaching, is making sure you're teaching your kids. So yeah, so look at that legacy right there. 3 generations, P Squared, right? Is making sure that everybody knows, like, cook from scratch, but also what kind of ingredients are you using? Making sure, are you using good, clean ingredients? Are you cooking with a lot of fresh stuff? So scratch doesn't always mean healthy, but it's definitely better than something from a box or a can. So before you drop me, I'm all out. Is that the bus? Is that going back to the bus? Basic foundations like soups and sauces. Yeah, I mean, that's really great to know too. So, um, yeah, nobody's going to drop you, Kenny. For sure. We got you, Kenny. We got you. Um, Mad Chick says lots of coffee, alcohol, and not much sleep. Loads of experience. Whew. Man, that had to take a toll, right? That's amazing. P squared, I don't want to invoke. I've fallen and I can't get up. Oh my God. We don't know where to send them to you. I'm a foodie, and most women that I date can't cook. So can you cook, Uncle Al? Oh yeah, you're always cooking, so that's good. Yeah, that's great. I'm a foodie too, and I love to cook. But then, if I go on a date, I'm like, can we go out so I can be served a meal? So yeah, um, I grew up on my family's restaurant. Oh, what restaurant was it? P squared? Was it here in the area? Curious. Yeah, curious. So, um, I could use a live-in cook. Couldn't we all? I know. I came home. Oh, it was one of my work days last week, and I came home, and my daughter was in the kitchen, and she was cooking from scratch. She was making it was a pasta sauce. It's a vodka sauce, and it's heavy cream and freshly grated Romano and Parmesan, little shot of vodka in there. And it was so good. And she shredded chicken, and then she made fresh pasta, and yeah, she made dinner. I was like, oh my God, it was amazing to come home to a homemade meal from my 19-year-old kid who like knocked it out of the park with dinner. So that may or may not be a subtle hint. Kenny, you want me to move in? Is that what you're saying? Was that a hint? Or was that a bomb? What are you dropping, a hint or a bomb? Oh, you guys are amazing. All right, it is 7:06. I have somebody coming by to get a dresser right about now, I think. So I'm going to let you guys go. I'm so glad this worked out. I was very concerned that my IT was going to fail me today, but let's see, not in CA Dr. P near D. I have no idea what you're trying to say to me, P squared. I'm starting to post slideshow videos on my Chef Tech 86 channel, Raccoon Pick Canning. Oh, okay, cool. Hey, I've got all of this. I've never pressure canned, and I've got all this chicken broth that I need to pressure can. Do you got a video over there for me? Yeah, that's what I need. So let's see. Refrain from answering that. Stay safe, stay vigilant, stay prepped. Kenny, you're always incriminating yourself. Oh, the restaurant was in California. Awesome. Oh my gosh. All right. Well, listen, Mad Chick, I'll jump over to your Chef Tech channel and check that out and see what you got going. So yeah, I've got to but yeah, I got to pressure can some chicken broth. So we'll see. I made some yogurt today. I was going to use my, because the pressure canner or the pressure cooker, the Instapot, it has a button for yogurt, but I need a new gasket because the gasket smells like, I can't get the smell of meat out of it. So I didn't think that would go well with the yogurt. So Monday night on Gil's channel for canning. I know he's doing, if I can tune in, I love it. And then when he's got Rebel Canners on there, she's amazing too. So I'm sure she'll have something on there about pressure canning. I think I talked to her about pressure canning, but anyway. All right, you guys. So let's see. So tomorrow morning, I'll see you for Reset Monday. And then Thursday, we've got Chiropractic is Sexy. And then IT permitting, I'll see you again next Sunday. Thanks so much. You guys are amazing. I appreciate you being here. Remember to share this channel so I can continue to grow. Yeah, we got a few new subscribers this week, so I'm really excited about that. And definitely posting more actual videos in addition to the live streams. So okay, and then go on over and follow Mad Chick Acres also with his Chef Tech channel as well. And Mad Chick, you can go ahead and drop your channel links here too. So yeah, so That would be great. I always want to love and support everybody else who has channels here who are doing cool stuff that we can jump over and be a creep in on your chat for you. So yeah. All right, you guys, we'll see you soon. All right. Thanks again for being here.